Happy birthday, Dr. Kizza Besigye. Happy birthday, Dr. Kizza Besigye. Free Dr. Kizza Besigye. Free Hajo Bedutare. Free all political prisoners. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Happy birthday, Dr. Kizza Besigye. Kefefe.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday.
Behind the towering legacy as an angel of peace, as a leader who embraced humanity without any form or iota of discrimination. Specifically, two things, attributes, for which he will be remembered. One, his empathy towards less privileged. In a vanguard of social justice, he has been at the forefront of empowering the marginalized within our respective societies. We have a message to our leaders. They can pick lessons from the life of the pontiff, specifically what he has been able to do.
Monday. And since then, the entire globe is in a somber mood. We would like, first of all, to appreciate His Holiness for an illustrious life he has led, for the towering legacy he is leaving behind. And in as much as we are mourning, we do celebrate his life. Throughout his career as the pontiff, he has touched many, many lives. He's been a transformative leader who has touched, as I said, millions of lives, especially the indigents, the less privileged, and the vulnerable members of our respective communities. It's so instrumental. And this is what now constitutes our message, particularly to the leaders in the East African region and the US President, because we want to send this message to those two, the leaders in the East African region, the heads of state, and President Trump, as they pay tribute, and that's actually a tribute to the pontiff, the East African leaders here, the heads of state, needed to have some introspection, reflect on what is going on within the region, the Great Lakes region. Pope Francis is on record having been the first Pope to visit visit three East African countries during his time as the Pope. 3 East African countries: Uganda, South Sudan, and DRC. It was unprecedented. And there is a reason why he did that. Because this region is bedeviled by wars, insecurity, political instability, and so on and so forth. There is a humanitarian crisis within the Great Lakes region which drew the attention of the Pope, and indeed he deemed it fitting to come and lend a hand. Specifically, his act of humility, humbling himself and kissing the feet of the president of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, speaks volumes about his large heart. And the love he had for the region and the commitment to ensuring that there is peace, that peace rather prevails within this region. That act which he executed, humbling himself to kiss Salva Kiir's feet, and the symbolism that goes around with it, should be very, very instructive to the leaders. They should take it very seriously, that all he wanted is to see that peace prevails, not only in South Sudan, but the entire Great Lakes region. The region which is afflicted by the humanitarian crisis that I have talked about, with over 1.5 displaced people from Eastern DRC here, South Sudan, and from Somalia, Eritrea, and elsewhere. So as a tribute to the late Papa Francis, as a tribute to the late Pope Francis, the heads of state of the East African nations should carry out that introspection, reflect on this, and make a renewed commitment to ensuring that there is peace within the region. As we speak today, the war, the signs are on the wall that all is not well within the region. What is happening in Eastern DRC needs no mention here, with M23 and the government of DRC tussling it out there. To the extent that as we speak today now, even the political actors are on each other's neck. The political actors are now ravaging one another. Deplorable situation which we condemn, but also invite the leaders to critically reflect upon as we pay tribute to late Pope Francis. In the same vein, again, the political environment, which is not good in any way in tandem with the values that we espouse, which are enshrined within the East African Treaty. That is democracy, rule of law, constitutionalism, and good governance in general. Acts of aggressions are on the rise. Oppression and repression against political opponents on the increase. In DRC, for example, right now, Kabila's party has been suspended. One would expect Tshisekedi to have picked lessons from the turbulent history of DRC now he's engaging a reverse gear. Or the little they had gained, it's being washed down the drain. The People's Party for Reconstruction and Democracy, which belongs to Kabila, the former president, has now been suspended. In DRC, meaning that actually Tshisekedi is turning out also to be worse than Kabila, is becoming another Mobutu. In Tanzania, Tundu Lissu, the leader of opposition of Chadema, you are aware he is facing charges of high treason, but he has not even been taken to court. He is incarcerated. Chadema also suspended. They have been disqualified from participating in elections. In South Sudan, Riek Machar is still under house arrest. I can go on and on and on and on. But that is testimony enough, or it's a testament to the fact that the region is not at peace with itself. So, as we pay tribute to Pope Francis, we need to reflect on this situation as members of the East African community and ensure that we do things that will guarantee political stability within our region and stop this madness which is going on. Stop the humanitarian crisis which has affected millions within our region. It's the only tribute that we can give to Pope Francis, who visited these three countries: Uganda, DRC, and South Sudan. That's the only tribute that we can give him, by restoring a political sanity that will guarantee durable stability within our region and bring an end to the humanitarian crisis we are confronted with. So that's a clarion call we are making. The second message goes out to the US. Probably he may not listen to us, but he owes it to the world to also reflect on his toxic policies, as he also pays tribute, because he's one of the leaders who have poured out their sentiments. They were, as a way of making the tribute to the late Pope. So he's one of the people who has given his his message of condolence. But that is not enough. Pope Francis was a vanguard for the rights of the immigrants or migrants. He was at the forefront to fight for the rights of migrants, displaced people. Now, when he assumed the power, President Trump executed those obnoxious and toxic directives which have affected many immigrants or migrants. So as we remember the life and times of Pope Francis and eulogize him, let's emulate his good deeds. Let's carry forward his message of tolerance, his message of compassion and empathy, his message of love for one another. So this, as I said, is another clarion call on the part of President Trump. It's not about only migrants, but also the poverty-stricken countries which are affected by his toxic policies. Uganda inclusive. because he cut off all the financial support we are getting for our vulnerable people like HIV victims and a couple of others who are suffering because of those policies. So we invite His Excellency Trump to reflect on those policies and make sure that as we eulogize and hail Pope Francis, all we do as leaders, the actions we take and the policies we make or the laws we pass must reflect those values that he espoused and championed. They must be in sync. The policies we make must be in sync with the values that he held dear to himself and helped to uplift mankind or humanity as a whole. So that is the call we are making, one to the heads of state in the East African region, and also to President Trump to critically reflect on during this time of mourning the demise of Pope Francis. Issue number 2 is about Dr. Kizza Besigye. You recall he was kidnapped from Kenya on the 16th of November, and since then he has been under incarceration. And today would be a very historical day, or historic moment. Would be a historic moment in his journey of life. 69 years ago, today, Dr. Besigye came to this world. It's a day we shall always live to celebrate. One of the good things that happened in this country is for the late Chief Fefe to give birth to Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. A patriot, a statesman, an assertive leader who has also touched millions of people and who has made a significant contribution to the transformation of this country. He's our patriarch at Katonga here, you are aware. He embodies the struggles that we are all involved in. He's an embodiment. He's the arch up there. He's at the apex of the struggle. He is, as I said, the patriarch of our struggle in this country, no doubt about that. It's not in dispute. Across board, it's not about actually Katonga. It's for the whole of Uganda. That's how important his life is to this country. So we are gathered here, first of all, to celebrate this day, because it means a lot to us as Ugandans. That is the day he came to this world, and it's a day that is so important in the struggle and our lives. We may be celebrating the day, but we're not in a celebratory mood. That's a paradox. We are not in a celebratory mood because he should be with us here to cut the cake. Unfortunately, you know what is happening. It's behind the back. So it's an irony. Yes, we are going to cut the cake here to mark this 69th birthday anniversary, but we are equally hurting. We are hurting. I repeat, we are hurting. Not only us here who are representing millions of Uganda who have trust in Dr. Kizza Besigye and the struggles he has always championed, are equally hurting. The injustice that has been unleashed on him, and also the fact that all institutions of the state which would come to his rescue seem to have capitulated to the tyrannical rule of Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. That many of the doors are now closed. Parliament is now quiet about Dr. Kizza Besigye's rights and also, of course, other political prisoners. The judiciary, we have the same issues, but I'll tell you what we intend to do. And obviously, other humanitarian organizations, like the Uganda Human Rights Commission and others, which would uphold, ordinarily would be expected rather to uphold the principles enshrined in our constitution, are all our see quite deplorable. But as I said, we do that notwithstanding, we do celebrate the fact that he is alive and kicking. That is important, because what he has endured all these years of the struggle is well documented. He has put himself in the line of fire, in harm's way, for the sake of liberating this country. We do celebrate him for the tenacity, resilience, charisma, and all those attributes he has exuded in championing this good cause. We do intend to visit him at Luzira today, to share this day with him in whichever way possible. But before we do that, two things we have done here. Number one, we have now taken a step to go back to the High Court to secure his liberties. So this morning, we finalized all the pleadings, the paperwork, and filed a fresh bail application in the High Court this morning. We targeted it for this day, the day he was born, to be the day we are filing a fresh bail application to signify that that fact. So, we have filed it. See application number 282 of 2025, filed this morning, the 22nd day of April 2025, at High Court, Criminal Division. You'll be getting copies of the same. They are readily available. We do expect now the judiciary to accord Dr. Besigye the treatment he deserves, and to uphold the law without fear or favor. There are issues which were really very, very disturbing that were highlighted by the judge who handled the first bail application. Rosette Kamfatikania. That Dr. Besigye had fulfilled all the conditions provided for under the lawful grant of bail, that he had satisfied all the requirements. He's of advanced age, now 69. He had substantial sureties, permanent residence, Nikabaka Bengandi Buyinja here, Kasangati. And also, he has exuded good conduct and character. Even when he faced similar charges before, he never jumped bail. He never in any way abused the conditions that were set by court. So generally, he's a gentleman. He's a person of good character and good conduct. All that is well captured in the judgment of Rosette Kanya. But she said that notwithstanding, if we were to release you, there would be temptation, given the gravity of the offense, that is prison. There would be temptation to interfere with the investigation. Quite ridiculous, because it's very, very speculative and far-fetched. It's far-fetched. In exercise of court jurisdiction, discretion, you are supposed to be guided by objective factors, or you are supposed to be guided by particular principles and facts. And you have to be objective. You cannot act in a manner which does not in any way resonate with the principles enshrined in our constitution and other relevant laws. So this is what exactly happened. Justice Rosette Comfort Kanya considered the extraneous matters which were far-fetched, that you are likely to be tempted to interfere with the investigation. Never mind that it's alleged that the offenses were committed in Greece, in Switzerland, in Kenya, and so on and so forth. So we are going back today. No, we have gone back to court today against that background, that the judiciary this time around will have a change of heart and say maybe they made a mistake. They are enjoined under the law to correct mistakes made. And we are focusing our attention this time around on that specific issue of likeliness, or rather likelihood. We are focusing our attention on that specific issue of likelihood of interfering with investigation. We are demolishing whatever argument that can be advanced. So we have adequately prepared for that particular aspect, to demolish it, because the rest of the grounds we are satisfied. It's only one issue. If granted bail, will Dr. Besigye interfere with the investigations? And with all these months they have had, all this period they have had since November last year, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm not about to argue out the application before you now. But all we are saying is, we are adequately and sufficiently prepared to demolish that argument, to crush it, totally crush it, that there is any iota of a possibility of Dr. Besigye interfering with investigations, if at all there are any investigations going on. So we hope this matter is going to be fixed soon, because you know very well Dr. Besigye's life has not always been the best. No, yeah, rather his life has not been in good state. So we hope it's going to be fixed as soon as practicable, so that it is heard and disposed of as soon as possible. So that is one thing we have done to commemorate this day. The other thing is that we are going to plant a symbolic tree here as a remembrance that he clocked 69 years while in jail on such outrageous charges of treason and being perpetrated by his former patient, because Museveni was a patient of Dr. Besigye in the bush. So a person he helped to survive the rigors of the bush is the one now keeping him under incarceration at the age of 69. So that has to be also recorded, and we are planting this historic tree for remembrance of that particular fact as we mark 69 years of his life. We're also going to cut a cake under those circumstances. It may not be accompanied with the fanfare that always goes with such celebrations. So that fanfare may not be there. The pomp, whatever you expect. Because, as I said, it's a paradox. We are marking the 69th anniversary under very, very depressing circumstances. Allow me end there. Thank you.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. In my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. And Besigye will live. Besigye will live. Besigye will live someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe Besigye will live someday. Besigye will be free. Besigye will be free. Besigye will be free someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe Besigye will be free someday. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Kizza Besigye.
Freedom for all.
All for freedom.
All for freedom.
Freedom for all.
Sorry.
Alsenera president senera no mwana akola. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Besigye will be free. Besigye will be free. Besigye will be free. Deep in my heart, I do believe Besigye will be free someday.
We shall live in peace.
We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Deep in our hearts, I do believe we shall live in peace someday.
Freedom for all.
All for freedom.
All for freedom.
Freedom for all.
Happy birthday, Dr. Kizza Besigye.
Happy birthday, Dr. Kizza Besigye.
Free Dr. Kizza Besigye. Free Hajo Bedutare. Free all political prisoners. We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Happy birthday,
Dr. Kizza Besigye. Kefefe.